Hello and welcome to the final episode of our How to Create a Landscape series. Today we'll be going over a little bit of the camera features and how to render out your cinematic. So to begin with, we're going to want to go up to Edit, Project Settings, and before we do anything else, we're going to type in Auto Exposure and we're going to disable this. As you can see, it does make a little bit of a difference on our scene, and for visual purposes, we just want this off. Then the next setting we want off is motion blur, so make sure to type that in and disable it. Now, after that's all done, we're going to want to go to plugins and then type in movie render queue. And then after that, we're going to restart our client. Alright, so to begin with, what we're going to want to do is go down to our content browser, right click, and then create a level sequence. We're going to name this ls_landscape. Now when we open this up, this brings up a little animation window. We can click add and then find our camera in the add actor, and we can pick the first one or the second one. Another thing we can do is come to this camera icon right here. Then we can actually just spawn a whole new camera that's only used in this level sequence. For now though, I'm just going to delete all of this and add back our existing camera. So from here we have this little drop down menu that we can toggle, and the main thing we're going to want to focus on is this transform right here. And if we click the plus key, that adds a keyframe, and if I move over to a different location and then press the keyframe button again, you can see when I scrub the timeline, the camera will go from one position to the next. And I can also drag on this timeline if I want to make the transition time longer. So instead of manually adding a keyframe every single time, what we can do is press this create a key object right here, and then every single time we move the camera, it'll update in real time. So if I scrub it back, it'll update to the latest position. And then now if I move my viewport to somewhere over here, and I scrub the timeline again, you'll see it goes to the new location instead of the previous. Alright, so if we just zoom out a little bit on our timeline, we can actually make the animation longer by dragging this red line out. Now this signifies when the shot will end. And then we could also drag this out to make sure we don't have any rendering issues later on. Another way though is if we come over here, next to the FPS, we can find a little graph editor. Make sure your camera is selected, and then now we have these lines on the graph. And if I go over to one and select it, this represents the x-axis. So if I move this point here, it updates in real time of where our camera would be. I can also do it on the y-axis and the z-axis. Another thing you can do in here is grab all of your keyframes, and if you try to move them over, the animation will get all wonky, so you can hold down shift and it'll go in a straight line to wherever you'd like to move it to. This is good for setting up timings of your keyframes. So I'm just going to go ahead here and place a few more keyframes down and get a little animation around the island out of the way. I suggest you take the time and create your own animation. Alright, if I scrub through the timeline here, you can kind of see a quick overview of the animation before I render it out. I think it looks alright. We can come over here to this little movie director thing, and then here we can find the name of our shot and then the content directory. If we click it, this is where all the information will save to. And then this config setting right here, now this shows us some of our export settings. I disabled the JPEG, and if you want to do a quick one, I would suggest the MP4, but for the rest of this tutorial, I'm going to be using the PNG sequence. Some other settings we're going to want to add in here are the anti-aliasing. We can turn up the tempora sample count to 8. Now the higher it is, the longer it's going to take to render, so be careful of that. Another setting we want to add is game overrides and also high resolution. Once we have all these settings in there, we can click accept and then add to the render local. So now it's going to go ahead and compile all of the shaders and do all the rendering. So it may take some time depending on your computer. So as you can see, it does give us a little rendered preview once all the shaders and things have been compiled, but just let this keep going for now. Alright, now that it's all been rendered out, to view the files, we have to go up to the output folder over here and click this. Now every single image here equals 1 frame of our render. Now that I've got my full video rendered out and all of the 900 frames here, I'm going to show you how to pull these together in another program and then create a video from it that you could upload. Okay, so I'm going to be using DaVinci Resolve here. It is a free program and I find it really useful. Okay, now that we're in DaVinci Resolve, this is going to be our video editing program. We're going to select frame 0 and then we're going to go all the way to the bottom and select the very last frame. Once all of our frames have been selected, we can go to the edit tab and then drag them onto the video timeline link. So, and if we press spacebar or play, then you can see our render play out. Okay, once you're happy with your render, you can go over to the deliver tab here and you can name the clip of your file. I'm just going to name this one UE5 render. For format, we want MP4. And all the other settings you can basically leave the same. You might want to make sure this quality is at best if it's not. And then at the very bottom, you can add to render queue and select your file location. Once your location has been selected, it'll be added to this render queue and you can select render all and it'll go ahead and stitch all those frames together for you. Then if we open up our MP4 that was just created, we can do a quick fly through of the level. Yeah, so this will probably be the final video of this tutorial series. I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. I know I had some fun making it. It was my first time making a series, so did have to go through some learning process, and hopefully I got better over these 7 episodes. So yeah, that's all for now. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next episode.